Hey, tell me about this running thing. Do you try to run as much as you can?
Yeah, I try. The word is try. When I go home, I run every day. I run quite far, probably, I don't know, 45 minutes. So how far is that? You know, like 6 miles?
Well, it could be 45 miles if it's a minute a mile.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Probably 5 miles or something a day.
You find that recuperative or just helps you with balance or health?
Yeah.
Or?
I feel better when I run.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I try to run on the road, but for some reason on the road I get it's a lot harder. I run in like 10 minutes.
Microphones?
Well, it's just 10 minutes in the run. I'm like, I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
But it might have something to do with how I sleep on the road and what I eat.
How do you sleep? Not well?
No, I sleep too much.
Oh, really?
I sleep, like I'll go to bed at 3 a.m. and I won't wake up till 1 p.m.
Nice.
Which is probably oversleeping.
I would think so.
Up. And, and I eat. Our schedule's, like you get off stage at 11 or midnight, and then you eat, which you shouldn't be doing. So you go to bed on a full stomach, which supposedly is, really unhealthy.
When I do that, and this is kind of stupid, but I actually get, I wouldn't say bad dreams as in, really scary dreams, just funky dreams and very vivid dreams. And I wake up and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It has something to do with, it's all connected to stress or something going on in your life, all that kind of crap.
Well, and I think that's probably why running helps too, because, I bike as much as I can, and the days that I bike, the less stress I have. It's just funny how that kind of goes.
Well, exercise releases some sort of chemical. What is it called that makes you feel good? Like when you, same chemicals when you...
Endorphins?
Yeah, endorphins.
Is that it?
Right.
Yeah, well, look at me. Almost like I remembered something from science class.
Yeah.
Did you actually run track in high school or anything?
No.
Really?
No. I was tall, though, in high school, so I played basketball. I sucked. I was probably the worst on the team. But I tried.
Well, that's half the battle, right?
That's right.
Getting out on the court. So what kind of shoes do you run in?
Oh, we just did this, actually, a show for Nike.
Oh.
They're doing this thing called the Human Race. Have you heard about that?
No, tell me about it.
25 cities around the world all running at the same time.
Oh, cool.
It's 10 kilometers or 6 miles. And they're trying to get the most people to run in one race at the same time around the world.
Oh, very cool idea.
So after the show, they had all these bands play after. So like in L.A., I think it was Kanye West. And, Chicago was Fall Out Boy, and New York had, I don't know.
Yep.
So I think they try to have hometown. So we played in Vancouver. Vancouver was the only Canadian city that participated, and we played the show there. So
Nike got in touch with you? Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us free stuff. So they gave me some free running shoes, which are awesome.
Really?
Man, dude, way better, run way farther and easier. Yeah, it's awesome.
So I guess you're a Nike fan for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Yeah? Well, work out a deal with those guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
Keep working on that deal. Because, you know what, if you run as much as you say you do, then you're going to need new shoes in, 8 months, 9 months, pretty soon.
Yeah, I know. For sure.
So that's very cool that you guys did that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Do you do, every once in a while, do you do shows that are sort of outside the norm where they're actually for some charity or for something like that?
Yeah, once in a while.
And is it something you guys look for, or?
No, it's just offers kind of pop up. Someone will call our management and be like, would Theory of a Deadman be interested in doing this? And sometimes, we're up for anything. It's just sometimes, usually we say no due to our schedule.
Yeah.
Not because we think it's a lame cause, or it's usually because we can't make it.
Right.
Can't do it. That's about it.
Well, being from Canada, I would think that you care a little bit about nature. Because Americans obviously don't know. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of nature in where I live, man.
Yeah, is there? Do you live out in the country, or do you actually live in the city?
No, I live actually right in the metropolis. I live in a high-rise in Vancouver.
Oh, really?
Like the cement jungle. But
married?
I'm married.
Yeah.
But all around Vancouver is all like paradise, mountains, and deer and bear and all that kind of stuff.
And so do you get excited when you get to Chicago, New York, and those places where, do you like living right in the heart of the city like that?
I like the fact that I can walk everywhere.
Uh-huh.
And that's about it.
Oh, do you own a car, though?
Yeah, I own a car, yeah.
But you'd rather stay local when you can.
Yeah. If it's like 6 blocks,
sure.
Why would you drive? You got to park it, and it costs $1 to park, so forget it.
Yeah, right. Environment, do you think much about it? Do you try to recycle when you're home, or?
Yeah, I try. I don't do a very good job. I have bad excuses.
Yeah.
But
because the recycle bin's too far away.
Well, it's a lot it's a lot easier living in Canada. It's very green up there. Everyone recycles. Everyone's all about the environment. A lot of people drive electric cars and hybrids and stuff. So, so it makes it harder to not be green and good to the environment. But I don't know. I'm always on the road all the time.
That's an interesting reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so a few of the songs. The song that I spun first is "Sacrifice."
Oh, cool.
I just thought it was a very cool song about. I think that's one of the struggles people have is trying to be yourself.
Yeah, it really was. It came from something a little bit, but it's really about how your family sees you, and your friends sees you, and it's always trying to like be something better and bigger for yourself. But really, there's a little bit of underlying stuff. It's like you want to do something amazing or be famous or be successful because you want to show your family, like I'm not a loser, or your friends or your people that never thought you could make anything out of your life. So it's kind of it's an inspirational song about, I'm never going to, give up. I'm never going to, let in and...
Never going to sacrifice?
I'm never going to sacrifice, right?
See, how's that? Wonder where I came up with that.
They actually used the U.S. Olympic team used that song as a...
Oh, really?
As their theme song, yeah.
Oh,
which I thought was cool because we never even thought we don't have like a lot of inspirational tracks. It's all like breakups and relationships. So when we heard that, we're like, really? And then I listened to the lyrics. I'm like, oh, okay. Never gonna give up. It's all about racing and stuff. So it's cool.
Is that necessarily on purpose when you write songs about breakups and stuff? I mean, or is it just what comes out when you sit down?
Recently more than ever, I've really tried hard to write every song be from my heart and be real. So every song comes from me. It's not just like a story. If I talk about like a song called Bad Girlfriend, I'm not just writing about girlfriends like I'm just making a story up. It's a true story. It's everything on there is about something.
Well, have you found that, presuming that if you write like that now, you wrote less like that earlier? So I don't know if that's a fair statement, but I think you know what I mean. But
yeah.
But do you feel like maybe that's the reason that you're having more success now is because it is more real and it is more, there's something that connects more directly with the listener than maybe when you're making up a story? I mean,
sometimes that that's what it is. Really, it's just people. People can't be tricked. I don't think, at least not as much as maybe they used to be. But you got to be realistic. People listen to a song, they're going to know if you're just making a story up or if it's just you write a song about partying and being crazy in a rock and roll band and you're totally not that guy. I think people, the audience is going to know that you're making that up. So I think it's working because people know that I'm telling the truth when I sing that stuff.
So the difference between a Bad Girlfriend song and a Sacrifice song, where I just completely, and maybe I'm just not in that place, right? But is it interesting to you that so many people have connected with a song like that? Because it's, at the very least, pretty angry.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, it's always a surprise when a song works. So it was like, wow, that's awesome, like unbelievable, because you never know, right? It's when you write a song, you don't know what's going to happen. You just write some lyrics, and I kind of do it for myself at first and try to get through a song and be proud, pat myself on the back, say, I think I did a good job with these lyrics. I mean, a song like Bad Girlfriend, it's not a deep song. It's all straightforward. It's right there. I mean, you're going to know what I'm singing about. There's no metaphors.
But I think the next song is deeper than that. When you sit down, I mean, I've said it too many times in my life that I hate my life.
Oh, right.
But is that a cathartic thing for you to write that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I think it's cathartic for the people when they listen to it. And that's why I always felt like that song would connect. That was probably the song on the record. I thought that song would work the most because the label hated it. And I just had this gut feeling like, what, people are going to get this song. They're not going to listen into it, read into it and think, oh, Tyler Connolly must really hate his life. They're going to understand that, I'm also writing it for them because when they're in traffic and having a bad day, it's ironic, but it's true that songs that talk about having a bad day make you feel better. So people will hear that song, I Hate My Life, and actually feel better, ironic as it may seem.
Yeah, I don't argue that, but I guess I guess at the end of the day, whether it's a book, a TV show, song, whatever, somehow I want to be lifted, and maybe there is something that is something magical in music that when you can vent it that way, just by turning it up in your car when traffic is terrible, maybe that's where the purpose comes out in it.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, every song for me, when if I heard. I was at a radio station today and they played Pearl Jam, Jeremy.
Yeah.
When I heard the song, it brought me back to a time when I was a kid in a certain place in school or something like that. So I think that song will work for people because it'll bring them to a time where, like, they're stuck in traffic or they're having a bad week or hate their job.
Well, I was just at a Def Leppard show and I interviewed their drummer, who's a really great guy, by the way, does some really great stuff, and outside of Def Leppard is what I'm talking about. Not that he doesn't do great stuff in Def Leppard, but I just watched the audience as much as I could, and the songs just took them to a place, a very special place that I'm thinking, okay, Rock on Purpose, I've got to play songs like Sacrifice and whatever, but there is something special about what happened when you were 13, 14, 21 years old, and wherever something special was happening, there's a song that sort of dovetails into it. Is that what it is for you?
Yeah, I think that's what will lead to longevity, too, is if you have songs that connect, like Def Leppard has songs. Def Leppard, can go tour tomorrow and have a successful tour and have all their fans come out, because it doesn't matter how old they are, they're still going to play, their hits, and all those people are going to go run to the show and sing along because, like you said, it's going to bring them back, right?
First song on the record?
So Happy.
That's about getting rid of the bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I wrote that song about a friend of mine growing up. He was my best friend, like around 13 or 14. I used to go to his house all the time, sleepovers and watch movies and stuff. And he had an alcoholic father who didn't have a job, and by noon, he'd have like 6 empty beer bottles beside the couch, and he used to just harass his kid. And he told me one day when we were over at his house in his room or something, he's like, and I hate my dad. I hate him. And at that point, I couldn't understand what it would be like to hate your father, because I loved my father, and I was like, wow, I've never heard anyone say that and mean it. And so I wrote a song about it, because later on in his life, when he was graduating and stuff, I went over to his house for dinner or something, and he's married and had a couple kids. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he's like, I don't talk to my dad anymore. We threw him out of our lives, and he felt a lot happier about it. So that's what So Happy is. It sounds like a relationship song, but it's actually about how he feels happy now he's thrown this person out of his life. But it's vague enough where, anybody can relate to it.
That just must have been tough growing up for him. I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people grow up that way.
Yeah, well, he had some problems when he was a kid. He was a bit of a bad seed. He was a great guy. He was my friend, but he did stupid shit.
Yeah, right. By the way, is that just an old breakup song? Just don't.
Yeah, well, that was written with Chris Daughtry. So he had an idea for the chorus first. So I wrote the rest of the song. I took and wrote the lyrics around his idea. By the way, he left without saying goodbye to me. That was his line. So I just wrote a song around it, and I wrote in a hotel room the day before I had to sing it. I was kind of getting stressed out because I couldn't think of something, but I just sat down and it made myself write, and it came out great, I thought.
Does that do you think that keeps the song more fresh? I mean, is there something different about a song that maybe you worked on 6 months before that and you kind of had it, and all of a sudden, and then you got to go in the studio and sing it? Now you've got the next day.
I think it comes out. It comes out better if you do it all at once. I've had songs where I've had like a chorus for months, and then I have to write like some verses, and then I don't like the verses or change them. Then it doesn't feel, it doesn't feel as organic as if you write a song in 10 minutes, because then it feels like you've got this one idea, one emotion, and you pretty much just write it all down. You've got it. So that song came out pretty quick, so I think it sounds really organic. How
did you hook up with Chris Daughtry? Because everybody, he's hooking up with a lot of cool guys, and you're just another one that I didn't even know about. So
well, our last record, Gasoline, Howard Benson produced it, who did our new record, and he was a huge fan of ours. And he went to Howard Benson, and he says, "I want my record to sound like this." And he put a CD in, and he pushed play, and it was Santa Monica, which was a song from our Gasoline record. And Howard Benson was like, "Wow, really?" He's like, "Yeah, I love Theory of a Deadman." And so through that, Howard Benson had talked to Chris Daughtry, and he said, "I'd love to come and work, come and sing on one of your guys' songs, or or collaborate on a song." And we were like, "Yeah, sure."
How do you say no?
Yeah, it was great.
Talk to me about Howard Benson. I just can't tell you how many records that I get that we play that I think rock on purpose, for whatever that means to anybody. And it's stinking produced by Howard Benson.
Yeah.
The guy's like a machine the last, 10 years, 5 years anyway,
Yeah, he's in a lot of rock bands, hasn't he? Well, he's been he's really good at like breaking bands too, because he finds bands. Like he did the first My Chemical Romance record. Yeah. And he told me, he says, as soon as that kid, the singer, walked in the room, I knew he was a rock star. He said, I knew they were going to be huge. I'm like, well, he might have just said that. I don't know, but he seems to be like the guy right now. He seems to know what's going on and what's going to be hot. And
when you go in, do you just trust what he says because he's hot, or is it still a collaboration between?
Yeah, oh no, we'll fight over stuff.
Yeah.
Last record we had some good fights over stuff, but at the end of the day, he's just trying to make the best record, and we are too. It's just no, it's pretty easy. He'd agree that we make pretty easy records. There's some bands that he probably does that he struggles because maybe there's just some stuff that isn't working out. But
ever worried you're not rock star enough?
Yeah, I ain't a rock star. I'm definitely not rock star enough. Yeah, for sure.
But is it a concern? You know what I mean? I mean, you can write this great stuff, you can perform this great stuff, but then is there another little
do I live
caveat that says, okay, you've got to be this on stage, and you've got to be this when you're in interviews, you've got to be, you know what I mean? Because I've heard people say, well, he's just not screwed up enough to be a rock star.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that those days are behind us. I think that the industry now is so screwed. No one's buying records anymore. Labels are firing everybody. They're going bankrupt, and bands are being dropped, and so I don't think you can screw around like that anymore. I don't think you can be, you can't be the Rolling Stones and do a bunch of drugs and drink all night and miss interviews, and back then it was kind of it was a lifestyle. Now, like, if you have the lifestyle, labels will just be like, you know what, forget about it. We'll find another band that wants to work, and do interviews. And
so, are you pretty diligent about not partying too much and stuff?
No, we have fun. Yeah. It's just that I think it kind of comes down on me being the singer. I have to kind of stand up and be like, all right, I'll be the guy that doesn't, we'll save my voice because we have, 2 acoustic shows tomorrow and a headline show. So I won't.
So you're the designated driver in essence of
the band. I am the designated driver of the band. So, which is fine, I think it's probably better off because I'd have much more guilty conscience if I knew we had to cancel a show due to, Heaven was written about my grandmother-in-law who was sometimes having a hard time with being alive.
Really? She's struggling with that?
Well, she's just, has depression and stuff. Yeah. So, I wrote that song for her to let her know, like, little by little, day by day, there's people around that can help you out.
No, you know what? My dad is struggling with that, too, because he's older now, and it's like, I think he's pissed being alive. And it's, like, too bad, because, I mean, here's the guy who was at some point in time probably an anchor in my life, right?
Right.
And now he's given me this example to, hey, when you get to the end of your life, it kind of sucks.
Right.
Just like, I want somebody like me or you to write him a song and go, hey, you know what? Not that he'd ever know how to even work a CD player, but
right.
But that moved you enough to write something for her?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's inspirational as well, right?